And now for our feature presentation.
This is great because on the back it actually says this film is also known as
the I'll Watch It Later podcast.
You ever heard of that film?
And now, on with the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to I'll Watch It Later podcast, the podcast where we lie about the movies we've seen to impress our friends. As always, I'm Aaron, joined by the ever so evening man, my best friend Jordan.
It's been a long day, but yes, hi, I'm here.
The evening.
I made it work. I'm here, guys.
The evening man.
The night man.
Our next horror pick.
And
The evening man.
Sleepy Joe Johnson of the Sleepy Tribe, my best friend producer, brother-in-law Scott.
Yes, I got it from you. It was contagious.
What was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Snoring away on the couch.
I slept for like
okay.
5 minutes. You were asleep for an hour.
I do miss
and
when
a
you
half.
guys take pictures of each other when you're sleeping.
Oh,
on
I
the
took
couch. Okay, good.
He downloaded.
I don't get them. But
I was
yes.
being nice, and I didn't take a picture of Aaron sleeping. But you know, all bets
There it
are,
is.
All bets are off now.
Didn't you download an app that made me think that you were taking a picture?
No, I just played camera noises, and he instantly woke up.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to me.
That's so awesome.
Karate chops to the air. I was like, what?
Pooey chip.
As always, guys, thank you for listening to our snack show yesterday.
We
the
hurt for you
snack
people
show.
that time.
Or, well,
That hurt.
to us it was yesterday. For you it was last week. But
Don't pull back the curtain.
the curtain, fuck that curtain. But honestly,
Never mind the man behind the curtain.
we appreciate you guys listening to that. Thank you, Beth Clark, again for sending in an email. As always, you can email us at watchitlaterpodcast@gmail.com. That is watchitlaterpodcast@gmail.com. Send in your emails. I'll send you some posters. But you got to email us. So, anyways,
If I email you, can I get that
no,
Army Darkness
No.
poster?
no, you can't.
Maybe we'll have special. We could do special posters and have some special posters printed up.
Or we like jerk off on them or something.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow. How'd you go there?
Well, you said special posters. I don't know what that means.
I'm gonna make round nachos.
Who's gonna pay for have them printed up? Me? No, thank you, sir. Not until people interact with us. If we get some normies to interact, I will gladly pay for posters.
It's a good thing printing's cheap.
Anyways,
Yeah.
welcome to October Superfest.
It's October now. Shit,
yeah.
First. Well, that's when
As
we're recording.
we dive into this month, just to let you know, we'll kind of give you an update at the end. This month's going to be wonky as shit. This is going to be the wonkiest month we've ever done the show. So we tried everything in our power to make it work, and I just don't think we are. So whatever.
I think we're doing okay despite
I think
some
we're going to
scheduling conflicts.
We're going
like,
to have to
you know,
take
I've
a
been
week
gone all
off.
day. No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
Why?
When,
We'll make it fucking work.
When are we going? So we're doing
Yeah,
this show.
let's put this out there.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is our snack show for all you people listening.
Yes.
The weekend after is this show.
Which will
The weekend after is going to be a fun, specialized show. And the weekend after, everyone should be here and we can talk about my movies.
that's right. You're right. Okay, you're right.
I know I'm right. Twice this week I've been right about something.
So not as wonky.
Not as wonky.
Go really wonky
So,
over
did
here.
you just hear
it's
that?
wonky to us.
That's
not to them.
Yeah, that's the date set. So if just bear with us, guys. We'll figure it out. And then we'll go back to normal.
No one needs to hear
And then
this.
Mr. Plans will make more plans, and
We're
we'll
gonna
be
make-
like, fuck.
we're gonna make-
Oh no, I'm
We're gonna
good.
make
I think
Aaron
I'm good
edit the
until
show.
Christmas. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I have no more concerts. I have no more breaks from school. I'm just gonna be working and podcasting. That's
Working and podcasting. That's the name of our next podcast, our spin-off podcast.
Just talk about
Working
work.
and podcasting, where we just talk about our jobs. But I can't really get
how
into much of
boring.
mine. And
Mine's
Scott will be
boring.
like,
I know.
"Oh, dude, I delivered some bread today. Here, let me tell you about this bread.
loafing around with Scott.
I don't.
Dude, please make that
I
a
don't do the
podcast.
delivering.
There you go.
You do something with bread.
Yeah.
That's all I get to. I'm like, he may actually not even do that. I just assume that's
He's like,
all
I don't
he's
deliver
doing.
it. Well, what do you do with the bread? I take it places, but I don't deliver it. Like, what?
What are you doing with all that bread in your car?
I look at it.
So much bread.
Shit under the seats for our next snack show for weeks.
And Jordan, his job is to look at my messages that I send and not respond to them. That is his entire
You
job.
sent messages.
think
I was
he
in the
gets
middle
paid.
of like fucking like dance competitions today, and you're sending messages, and I'm like, dude, I'm in the middle of trying to do things.
That was
I
at
can't really.
noon.
Yeah, I
You
was
said
on
it
the
was
road.
at 2.
Yeah,
I was on the road.
Heaven forbid, man, you start answering texts, man. Those dance moms, they will fucking annihilate you.
Excuse me.
I'll probably I'll take
Excuse
this
me.
off the air, but man, that's a fucking trip being around all those people.
It's wild.
I
Dude, it's-
I never wanted
I've
to
done
punch
it.
more middle-aged women in my life.
If we need to sit and talk and you need a therapy session, man, I can walk you through it because
It's the worst.
I've
Were they like me?
been there, done that.
No,
No, they're just over
they're-
the top.
Oh, really?
Over the top.
I remember watching you dance.
Always,
Scott, so.
always in the way. Always like
Yes.
shushing people and being mad. But and then like I saw one mom crying because she saw her daughter kind of slip up a little bit,
Oh yeah, end of the world.
and it was just like, well, that's it. I have to disown her.
She stomps the ground. You ruined everything.
Signing adoption papers over
Yeah.
some.
Just
some-
leaving her
some
there. I saw her
foreign
grab her
family.
bag and just go out to the car and start on the road. I mean,
Imagine, the people at Disneyland that it's like, hey, it's my experience.
this is
And
my
so
trip.
yeah, imagine that times 50
so
at
like
a dance
in
competition.
it's like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You guys?
Exactly.
No, I'm already.
This is about me.
This is
I already
about
said
me.
like I'm
guys.
not going to Disneyland in 2 weeks. I'm not excited about any rides. I'm not doing any of that because I'm hauling 2 children's around. It's going to be food fest. That's all I'm doing.
Think about it. One kid's just literally going to lay there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's it. And the other one, Dumbo,
yeah.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. Peter
That's
Pan.
it.
I'm just,
you know what I
uh,
mean? Like,
You get to go stand in
You-
fucking forever lines just to get on the shittiest kids' rides.
hey, I'm gonna go on Peter Pan. I'll see you in 4 hours.
I'm sure I'll be able to go.
People
on.
still flock to that
Like
ride.
if I can at least go on Indiana Jones, I'll be happy. But we'll see.
I didn't go on that the last time. I was
You
actually
did not?
upset. No, it was too busy. Like they are fucking crazy at that
I
place.
mean, you got an 85% chance that if you get in line, it's breaking down.
You're not wrong.
Dude, I think I broke down and they took us off the ride.
I know.
And made
And
us.
you unfriended him.
Wait, what? True. That's good.
We're still on that
Good
ride.
stuff.
No, we're not.
Oh shit.
No, Indiana Jones broke down with me and Kim on it once, and they had to like turn the lights
Oh,
on. in
I
it.
hate that.
Have you ever been on it, Indiana Jones?
Not on Indiana Jones.
Space
Mountain.
Mountain.
Me
too. I've
Yeah.
done
And it's just
Yes.
like, well, there goes the magic. Fuck
No,
you guys.
Space Mountain is terrifying, but so is Indiana Jones because they're like, "Do not touch this piece of metal, or you will electrocute yourself to death." And I'm like, "But the ride is broken down. Don't touch it!" And you got to walk through all these like hidden caves to get back up to the top.
So
it was
wild.
So
They're still trying to sell you shit.
I would ask you guys if there was anything you watched this week, but I don't really want to talk about anything that isn't horror related right now, especially since we have 2 movies to talk about. So I will bring up Smile because me and Jordan went. And
Well, yeah,
saw
we're gonna
Smile.
talk about that.
But other than that, like everything that I've watched is pretty fluffy and light, and we'll talk about it when we get back to doing regular shows.
I did blow through all 4 of the Lethal Weapon movies for just shits and giggles.
We-
After you had watched them, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to revisit them. And for the most part, they're still fun. But in today's political climate or social climate or whatever you want, this show, they're all fucked up. Like,
Well, duh.
it's nothing but homophobia. And then in the 4th one, it's just straight up like fucking, we're making fun of the Asians. And Jet
Yeah.
Li's kicking everyone's ass, and they're still going ching chong, ching chong. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, this was funny in like 1995.
Make sure you isolate that.
No, keep that in. Yes. But yeah, I watched those. But yeah, I'd rather talk about Smile and the Wailing and all the other stuff.
Yeah. So
Like, here's how I kind of want to do it. I really want to get into Smile with you because,
yeah.
whatever.
I don't think he can.
I don't want to really spend a lot of time on the Wailing. Like, I do, but I don't, because that's a movie I think I want people to watch.
Okay.
Because I could tell this man here really wants to get into the fucking.
I know.
Terrifier.
So we'll talk about
He has
Smile.
been chomping at the bit like all week.
We'll hit Smile first because
Fucking
Scott didn't
Oscars.
actually get to see it, and I don't even know if he cares.
No, well, like I said, I told you the other day that you guys said you went and saw Smile, and I said, oh, because it makes sense, because
Second
I
date.
actually saw
He was playing
the
ball.
baseball highlights. So I saw the weird woman standing behind home plate at the baseball game.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'd heard anything about this, because you know that I don't really get on the internet and look
Yeah.
at shit. So here's this weird-ass woman in a bright green shirt just acting super fucking weird at this baseball game.
They did it at a few of them.
And there was a bunch of them. I
like
guess
Good
they were
Morning
all
America.
they were all the actors of the movies were in different locations.
Well, they
doing
weren't the
this.
actors.
They
They were
weren't the
just like
actors.
paid actors, like just paid
No,
people.
the woman was the woman that's on the front cover.
No,
Wrong.
it wasn't.
Look it up.
We watched the movie.
I saw the movie.
Like,
she's not in
like
it.
if this was like a, hey, you didn't see the movie, okay, maybe I'd have to look it up. No, we literally just saw this 2 nights ago.
Scott's like, I never heard about this till 3 days ago. That's the woman in the movie. Look it up.
And then I just watched the thing that said that it was the actors from the movies that went around and
not
did this
one
stuff.
person
Negative.
in any of these viral marketing was a part of this movie in
Right.
any way. But doesn't take away of how fucking weird the marketing is.
The marketing was awesome.
I think it's great. Like, I really do, and I did enjoy it. Like, seeing like people. There was one chick where someone was taking pictures, and you could see the chick just sitting in the stands, looking over at the camera person, smiling, wearing her smile, big old yellow T-shirt, and there's like a black couple in between them, just looking at the camera person, going, "What the fuck is this person doing?" Like, it's wild what they've been doing with it. But
it reminds me of that the Cloverfield. Like, remember when that was huge? It was like all on the internet, and everyone was like trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
yeah, they always build like websites, and they do like all these like, we gotta go find shit, and it's like, eh. But I think this was pretty unique. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody just like sitting there fucking smiling for 45 minutes straight.
You ever tried to do that?
No, it hurts.
Oh, it hurts like hell.
I tried
sure they got
smiling
it.
the left movie, and I was like, oh god, this is terrible.
I'm sure
I don't
they
even
were,
smile at my children.
They were paid a lot. I'm positive about that.
I just, good for them, because that one chick that you're talking about is sitting behind home plate. I think they were saying that she held it, and then the guy held it for like 40 minutes.
Was that the guy that was in the movie?
No, he was.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Scott, did you want to elaborate on that? Or?
All I'm telling you is that the cover is the same chick that was behind home plate.
It's not.
I mean, we could pull it up.
Okay.
We
The
can.
one that's on the poster is the same one as the one that's on behind home plate.
The one that's in the poster was in the psych ward in the movie,
Yeah.
not at the baseball game.
Yeah, that's
I don't like to
that's
fight
the
that
first
often,
girl.
but that definitely not is the same people.
Go ahead, look it up,
You
sir.
guys talk. I'm Googling.
Okay,
Yeah,
no problem.
Google in the corner.
So yeah, we went and saw the 9 p.m. showing on Thursday night. And if you don't want to know anything, go ahead and fast forward through this part. But we're just gonna get into full spoilers because I think Jordan and I did not feel the same way about it. But I felt like it was okay. So like if you saw any movie from the early 2000s that was a horror film, it is exactly the same as that, and then wanted to also try and be like an A24 film about trauma and suicide.
Mm-hmm.
But it never really like it gets almost there, and then it's like lets you down. There wasn't a lot of smiling going on in this movie. You know what I mean?
It was weird because it's like, it's about smiling, and you get the one girl that starts off the whole thing of the story. You get the guy sitting in his room, and then the girl at the party, and then there's a lull where there's really nothing there. The sister does that weird head shit in the fucking trailer, but you're right.
That was
like,
wild.
It was freaked me out.
scared me.
Like, yeah, got you. I think there was one jump scare that we were like, I don't think we were ready for.
The laptop.
It may have been the laptop. Oh, no, I saw that one in the trailer, but that
Okay.
it's this movie is a series of, it's like an hour and a half of just jump scares.
Yeah, it really
2 hours
is.
of just jump scares.
Did you find it?
And it's just constant jump scares.
Tell me, is this not the same person that's on the poster? That's the same lady behind home plate.
It is not.
It
And I'm
looks like
being
the
dead
exact
serious.
Same fucking person.
No,
to me.
because that chick on the poster is literally the chick in the beginning of the movie.
Yes, it is, and it's not her.
Yeah.
Looks
Because they also
just
did
like-
another viral marketing where it looks like she's in a body bag, and all you see is her face kind of peeking through, smiling that big old smile.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's similar, but it's definitely not the same person.
Let me pull back a little bit of a curtain here. Do you remember when The Force Awakens came out?
I'm familiar with that movie. Yes.
Do you remember that there was it was maybe a little tiny bit of a viral video where Matthew McConaughey from Interstellar is watching the trailer and,
Oh God!
and
no.
crying like as if he's talking to Murph at the end of that film.
Oh,
Okay, Scott thought that was really Matthew McConaughey watching the trailer for Star Wars and not Matthew McConaughey from Interstellar.
Oh,
So-
I want to sit
Yes,
back.
you
I wanna
did,
sit back.
motherfucker!
I want to sit back.
Yes, you
This
did.
is gonna be a fight. Hold on. Go.
No. I remember it like it was yesterday, dude. We were at the dinner table, and he was like, "No, he's really watching it."
No, I
Somebody
said, I
filmed him
sent it over, and
watching
I
it.
go, look at this, dude.
You didn't
I go,
send
this
it
is
over. We
fucking
were
hilarious.
sitting next to
Yes.
each other. We were sitting next to each other at your mom's old house. I know exactly. I
So I just
know.
want to know what that article says right
Well, the title says that, but they're wrong. Like, I'm legit. Like, I'm not saying that
It's
you're
like-
wrong for reading
Yeah, I'm
that
just
and getting
saying
that
that's
information.
that's where I got it because they're saying that it's all
What's
the
the
actors
title
and
say?
actresses.
The actors from
Says-
the movie were doing creeping people
Says
out. But I'm
actors
telling
from
you.
Smile movie creep fans out at multiple MLB games around the country.
Okay, so if that person was in the movie, they were in the background somewhere smiling, and no one saw
I'm
them
just saying,
because I guarantee
that's why
not
I brought it up.
one person, and that's fine. Not one person that they're talking about was in that movie, and we literally just watched it 2
Yeah,
nights ago.
So,
Go
ahead.
Jigs. But yeah, this movie was a lot of jump scares. I kind of compared it, which you tried to berate me for, and I wasn't saying it's as good as.
Because I don't agree.
You really, the whole premise is like you're passing along this curse to other people.
Because Fallen is so different.
Fallen, I said it's similar in that vein where an evil force is taking over somebody and doing its thing and passing on to other people. It's a stretch, but it's the same kind of thing mixed with It Follows. Like I said, it is take all the jump scares out, and it's an A24 movie, and the enemy is really just suicide and trauma and dealing with your past demons. No, this is a real demon, and it's a fucking weirdo, and the end was weird, and the CGI was kind of weird. I like the movie. I didn't love the movie. I think if you're comparing anything that's coming out recently, Barbarian is a superior movie.
Is a great film.
And the problem is, because we've seen that so recently, I'm now going to compare these kinds of movies to that because they did it great. They did a low-budget horror movie that was actually pretty good. Smile, I feel, treads on already used ground. Like you said, this could have been made in the 90s and it would have made more sense.
And that's what
This
I'm
is
saying.
the Faculty or any of that shit. Disturbing Behavior, where like everyone's, you know what I mean? Like
I love
those kinds
disturbing
of
behavior.
You put a fucking weird soundtrack, like a fun soundtrack of the 90s music behind this movie, and it would have worked that way.
Just 90 minutes
No,
of
but
black
what I
hole
mean
song.
is like
Yeah, with that video, the video with her
Weird
mouth all big.
smiling.
Cutting fish.
I missed the opportunity there.
all the jump scares, the twist, if you even want to call it that, which you can see coming from a mile away.
We pretty much called the end.
Yeah, and the end where the dude shows up, just it all felt so familiar, like any other, like The Ring or The Grudge or
Right.
any of the. And I'm not. And let me be 100% clear: the American versions of those things are far inferior than their Japanese predecessors. Those movies are fine if you like them, but they were some of the most predictable garbage at the end. You knew it wasn't going to end. You knew it was setting it up for a sequel. All this dude had to do was like stay away, and you knew he was going to show up. And you're like, and you knew
They
she
set
wasn't
him up
gone.
as the love struck guy that was still not over this chick.
And I get that, but I still think
He was gonna come no matter what.
But
At the second you knew he
the
had a
stakes or whatever.
Yes.
And also the rest of the movie, the story is stupid. Like they waste a bunch of time going to a prison for no reason. Like nothing advances the story.
Well, that did advance it to the point where there's this pattern where, okay, so the premise of this movie is that, this person, she's a doctor, she's a psychologist, she's working at like a emergency trauma psych ward. Someone comes in and is saying like, hey, I'm seeing things, this is going crazy. I'm not crazy. You guys got to believe me. No one believes me. And then she freaks out, pretty much kind of like almost gets scared to death. And then whatever is haunting her takes over, does the creepy ass smile, the ones from the baseball game, and then takes a piece of glass, cuts her throat in front of the doctor. You find out later that what happens is this thing that takes over feeds off trauma and that fucked up thing. So every couple days, it has to move on to someone else, and by doing so, that person has to kill themselves in front of somebody else, and that person inherits, the evil.
Sounds like they need a shaman.
Well, that's the
two of them.
So what happens is, they go to the prison and they find out someone at some point broke the chain of suicide evil by killing somebody else.
But I
and
feel
passing it on to someone else
Final
instead
Destination
of
style.
It's like, yes, death skips.
I feel like that wasn't like. I get what you're saying, but that's implied in dialogue. Like
I agree.
earlier in the movie, and unless you're
Well,
a
you and I
drooling
called
idiot.
it when we were watching the movie. I was like,
you can put 2 and 2 together, but you got to extend this movie to whatever 2 hours or whatever it was.
I think it was like
and
2
you're
hours.
like,
Really?
dude,
Yeah.
you're
Jeez.
just fucking telling yourself stuff you already knew in scene form. You're like, oh, there's a chain. Well, we got to go find this person to confirm. Oh, there is a chain?
Well,
okay,
I mean,
well, if I kill somebody else in
like-
front of them, then there won't be a chain no more.
well, you don't even need that. Like what I said, you and I were talking about. I was like, why didn't she just fucking kill herself with no one around so it can't pass to somebody?
Exactly.
And then later on, 20 minutes later, they finally get to that
And-
realization, and then it still fucks with her.
Right.
And it's like, okay, but still, like, we knew this was going to happen. There's one part, Scott, I think you would have loved because we loved it so much. We were laughing our asses off. So there's this, she has a sister, and of course the sister is this prissy, stay-at-home mom type, dotes on her kid. The kid's birthday.
Also, what was the point of this?
She's got her kids
So-
in dance.
So, right, because after what happened, it was just, yeah. Then she goes to an Irish step dance. No, so this evil fucks with this other woman and helps kill her cat. Which, who killed the cat? Did she kill the cat sleepwalking? How'd the cat die? This movie makes no sense in that sense. Like,
You're just proving my point.
I know.
If
I'm not
the
saying-
biggest question of this movie is
Who
how
killed
does
the
the
cat?
cat die, then it's probably one that I end up skipping, or I just wait till it hits the hits the nets.
I would like you to watch it
yeah, but
so we can
see,
talk about it.
I mean, I
the
probably
cat-
will.
cat
because
gets killed,
It's October. And
stuffed
it's
in
that time.
the birthday box. Little kid opens it up at a birthday party, stone faced, and then pulls out this dead cat. Okay, that's not the funny part. Later on,
Sounds
the
funny.
sister comes back to apologize and tell the sister, "Look, I figured out what's going on." Blah blah. They get into a little bit of fight. She goes out to her car. She's sitting in her car. You see the sister come out of the house, come up to the window, and it's the scene from the trailer. All of a sudden, knock, 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 and then the head bends down and is smiling, and it freaks you out. And it turns out the sister wasn't there. The thing's just fucking with the girl that's going crazy. And she's sitting in her car in front of the house, freaking out, hitting her steering wheel, just screaming in the car. Scene cuts to kid from earlier after he opens up the dead cat box, staring out the window, just being traumatized more by his aunt just freaking out in the car. Me and Aaron just start laughing in the middle of the theater.
I think
just
we were the annoying,
literally
we
just
were the-
fucking laughing.
We were the annoying teenagers in this movie because there were teenagers behind us, but we were talking the whole time and we were
just-
fucking slapping our knee the whole time.
Because there were
It was
just moments
ridiculous.
where it's like, this is ridiculous.
The main girl in the movie is such an over actress, and she's so hard.
I
to
don't think
believe.
I've ever seen her in anything.
Yeah,
before.
but it was like so hard to believe her or anything. So all I'll say is this: if you
She
are like,
immediately is sold as a sad sack the minute she's on screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Kumar, leave her alone. And she just fucking.
because Harold and Kumar,
Yeah,
are-
Kumar's
well,
in it.
Kumar's in it from Harold and Kumar. But I will say this: if you're like, well, we don't really care what you say, Aaron, I'm going to go see it for myself. I will tell you this: the first hour and 40 minutes of this movie is pure dog shit. It's just jump scare after jump scare.
It is nothing but.
But the end, the last 10 minutes is fucking awesome.
It's really good.
And if they would have just taken whatever they did in the last 10 minutes and kind of applied it throughout the film, I think you would have gotten a much better movie.
For me, it's like when we talk about, hey, we should make a movie, and we joke about it, then you're like, let's do it, and we talk and we do this stuff. I watch these movies and I go, you know what? I could do this better, because she goes to an abandoned house that her family still owns. She has to open it up. This house is in the middle of nowhere, dilapidated, literally falling down, and she still has a key to open the door. Okay, first of all, sure, whatever. And then she walks into said dilapidated, rundown house and starts flicking the light switches. Who's paying for the electricity? If you're not, why the fuck do you think lights work?
Yeah, I know.
Like, just little stupid things like,
and that's
they don't work. You
and
know
that's-
they don't work.
and that's nitpicky, but
It's-
I agree.
It's just stupid choices.
I agree.
It's stupid choices, and it's stupid
I
filmmaking
think directors
choices.
just don't think things through, and I
Do
think
you
that
exist?
They
Like,
have a script that they're kind of trying to follow, and they just miss stuff because they're trying to tell a story.
It's just a common
And
sense
half the
thing.
time-
There should be a DP or a
You would
cinematographer, or even the guy who messes
They
with
need people like us on the
continuity.
set, and they're like, okay, and then she's gonna walk in and flip the switch, and I'm like,
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why would she do that?
why would the fuck would she do that?
But I'd be too busy yelling at the director, like, why does he show up? Why does this motherfucker show up? He knows the stakes. He says he believes her. Why does he show up?
Right, and where did fiance go? After they confronted her with the psychiatrist, she freaks out, leaves. That's it. He's done in the movie. Signed the check. Got to go back to the fucking boys.
Yeah, I was just
like,
gonna say,
I'm done.
Let's go film more of the
he
boys.
Fucking sped out of there. A-train.
A-train.
and this woman breaks, I think, no less than 35 glasses in her home. Like at this point, just leave her. I didn't hate this movie, but there was a lot of just dumb choices in it.
I'll buy it clearly because
buy everything. You fucking bought the monsters.
Fucking I thought we already had this discussion.
We did, but I mean,
I gotta stop buying so many movies.
But here's the thing:
I want monsters.
No, it took Quentin Tarantino to tell him to stop buying movies.
I'll tell you a story after. I want to see the commentary on Smile. Like I want to see it. I have to watch it because it's like
there's got to be a place online you could find this stuff to watch.
Negative.
Without
they don't really do it.
No,
I mean,
it's so hard.
The fools that buy these things, I'm sure, put them up on the internet places.
They don't. It's so hard to watch a commentary unless you own the disc because people don't care. They just want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
So
I can't say this is that great of a movie. Like you said, if this was made in the 90s, it could have been.
I'm the outcast here because the internet fucking loves this movie. And I think that's maybe like recency syndrome or something. I don't know. Because I think with the marketing and everything, people have been conditioned to like it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Twitter had, like, when you hit like, the little smile came out with a big-ass smile. And I'm sure it's going to fall off. Like,
when's
no
the
one's
last time
about
any horror movie came out that people didn't rave about? I can't remember the last 10 years.
I mean, Blumhouse has had pretty good run. I mean, they did
Yeah.
Invisible Man, which I didn't know if it was going to be good, and actually was, a serviceable story. They updated it. Like, they've done, people have been doing some good stuff. This was a Paramount movie, which really threw me off, because I didn't think Paramount was in the horror movie business anymore. I mean, Like, I always thought
I've
it
gone
was
to watch some of these horror movies, man, and I sit there and go, what are people thinking? What are they talking about? Why do they love this movie?
Well, that's what I'm saying and that's how I feel about Smile. But it's that classic thing, when back when I was a kid, everyone hyped it up. Oh my God, The Ring, dude! Wait till you fucking see it. It's fucking crazy. And I'd go watch it, and I'd say,
okay,
this was at 2. It didn't scare me at all. The Grudge, same thing. Sarah Michelle Gellar back, and she's hitting her horror roots. Oh, you'll never believe. Okay.
But see, the problem is we've seen the Japanese ones. We've watched originals for things, and we're like sitting there going, no, this was dog shit compared to it. It Americanized it. They're dumb. Apparently, we're stupid people. Like, Americans are just stupid.
I don't know. We'll get into it later, but apparently I am very desensitized by anything in movies.
Yeah,
because I see things, and
I guess we're split on that, right?
Yeah, and people talk about stuff, and I'm just like, no, I didn't think it was that bad.
No,
and
but
people look at me like, what the hell is wrong with you, man?
I just
I think
really
it was disgusting.
and we'll move on to that here in a second. But I just really want to reinforce that, like, how when you're watching a movie and you can tell and you can predict everything that's going to happen.
It takes you
that's
out of
no
the movie.
longer a good movie, and that's how
what
I
we
felt
did with
about
what we did
Smile.
that with
Yeah.
Smile. Yeah,
So-
and it's why I
mean,
would
there
probably give that a 2.5 for me.
You were literally, it's like a 1.5 for me, but I will watch it again. But you were doing the thing where you were like saying lines of dialogue that we both knew,
Dude,
and
I
then
did
they
that, yeah.
say, and then they say it 2 minutes later,
Yeah,
and you're just like, it shouldn't be this easy.
Yeah, there's a point where she shows up at her ex-boyfriend cop's house, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then she just walks in, and I go, "Well, just come on in." And he turns to the camera and goes, "Well, come on in." I'm like, "Well, good night, everybody. I just wrote the movie." And we must have done that like 3 times just in that scene.
Yeah, it's
because
ridiculous.
it was like she was like, "Well, you can't ask questions," blah blah blah, and then like later she
I
goes, "I said
believe
you
you."
shouldn't ask questions," and then I know we were both thinking it. No, you said it, and then he goes, "No, you said it," and I'm just sitting there going, "We wrote this scene."
There's
Like,
not too many movies that actually surprise
They're not treading a lot of new ground.
you anymore. I mean, I can only really think of 2 that come to mind in forever that actually gave me, like, at the end I was like, what is going on here? What just happened? One was The Sixth Sense, and I know that when you watch it now,
Yeah.
you can see everything coming a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
But when you saw it for the first time and you found out he was dead at the end, spoiler alert, you found out he was dead at the end, you were like,
Shit.
holy
Getting
shit,
taken
did
off
that
Apple
just
now.
fucking happen? And then the other one was Saw. I mean, that was the last
Saw
time
did
that
for-
I was.
yeah, Saw was-
the
I didn't
last
see that
time I
coming.
was actually surprised at an ending that blew me away. That I was like, I did not see that coming.
Sinister for me. When I saw Sinister in the theater, I was blown the fuck away. First off, it scared me, wasn't predictable, and the end came out of fucking nowhere. So I was totally happy with that. But yeah, the last time I was really like, holy shit, was Saw.
Yeah.
So
See, my thing is that sometimes you can almost predict what's going to happen, even just from a trailer. And I know you like this movie, and I'm not going to shit on it, and I'm not trying to get into a fight about it. But when I saw the trailer for Shutter Island, I immediately said, well, he's a fucking patient here. And then I even posted it on my Facebook before this movie came out.
I knew that,
and
too.
I went and saw it, and I was like, he was a fucking this movie.
But I love
I
Shutter
don't.
Island.
I didn't like it, and it's just
So
like
good.
it's just if you see it that far ahead, there's just no point.
I like Shutter Island because it's a noir mystery. Even if you know the ending, it's still a really good movie, and that's what I like about it.
But see, when I know the ending like that, none of anything that's happening is plausible to me because I already know. Well, that's not really a thing. That's not really a thing. That can't possibly be happening because this guy's here. Like I know the exit. Who cares how it gets there at this point?
Shutter Island's a 5. Anyways, let's move on. All right, guys. So welcome to October Superthon, where we do double features of horror movies throughout the whole month. Instead of just picking one movie, we bore you to death with 2 movies.
Grindhousing it up.
Yeah. So I
gotta do
picked
that more often.
with my first 2 picks. I picked Terrifier. And we'll talk about that one first, and we'll get into the second one in a little bit.
No, we won't.
Oh, we won't? Oh,
I think we have more, especially with Scott, to talk about with Terrifier
okay, we'll
than
see.
we do with The Wailing. Because I know The Wailing is a long movie. I know The Wailing is a Korean movie. And I know there's a lot to get into with that movie. I feel the meat and potatoes here just
That's fine.
is going to be Terrifier.
Okay.
I'm not even trying to throw
I'm going to
a
let
wrench
Scott
into this,
talk
but
about it because,
he's very excited.
yeah.
I haven't seen him excited about any of the movies we've ever talked
The
about
Wailing?
until now.
Yes.
Oh,
I'll
Terrifier.
talk about it.
Terrifier. I already said Terrifier.
I know.
There better be a trailer clip in here. I'm terrified.
Also, by the way, I love the bit that we
Yes,
do
where we post the
just
Korean
post the Korean
trailer.
trailer. Not one bit of dialogue is understandable. It's literally music in Korean.
You know, the
And
funny thing is
I listen to it every
actually-
time. I don't even fast forward. I'm just like, this is hilarious.
I go on YouTube and I'm like,
What's the most Korean?
is
I can
there
get?
like actually a dubbed over version of like a trailer? Nope. Nowhere
you
on
do.
there.
You
So
know
I'm
what-
like, you know what? I told Aaron, I just put the trailer in and then I just cut it. So it could be, if somebody knows Korean, it's probably halfway through a sentence or something, and it just cuts off.
I would love for you at one point just to start putting random Korean trailers. Not even for the movie.
not even
we're
for the
watching,
actual
because
movie.
Nobody's gonna know the difference.
True.
We're gonna get that one time where someone in Korea does it, and he's like, that's not the movie, right?
Hey, then
You
maybe
just
they'll
put,
write
like,
in.
like Punch Drunk Love, the Korean version or something. You know what I mean? Like, this is gonna be weird. But yes, The Wailing,
No.
2.5 hours.
Terrifier.
You really want to do Terrifier for? Okay. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I already said Terrifier.
I know.
Oh, you want to do Terrifier at the end?
I literally just explained.
I mean,
this.
we just
Oh
had
my
this discussion.
God.
Before
Okay.
and during.
So we
go ahead.
watched The Wailing.
이렇게 소문이 바다한 말이요. 무슨 이유가 있는 거요. 이유가. 요새 자꾸 동네에서 사람 죽어나가는 거. 그놈이랑 뭔 연관이 있는 거요. 싹 다 그 양반이 오거나 생긴 일들 아니오. 여기 다 뭔 일이다냐 그래.
요소 다 죽어버렸어.
직접 본 거야?
한번 봤지?
맞는가? 이 뭐가 이제 이거 뭐야 이거? 아따.
자네 며칠 전에 만나면 안 되는 것을 만난 적이 있지. 아내가 그곳을 건드려 부렸어.
똑같아 증상이 사람들이. 그놈이 자꾸 눈에 뵈는 것은 그놈이 자꾸 찾아갖고 뵈는 것이라.
We're not gonna talk about Terrifier?
Wait a minute, I thought we were talking about Terrifier.
Jesus Christ. All right, well, whatever. You have to make that work
I'm
with the
just
trailer.
kidding. Oh, calm down, sugar tits.
No, I'm fine. So this is one of those films that I have been told about forever. Oh, you like Old Boy. Oh, you like Handmaiden. Oh, you like these movies. And you will love The Wailing. The Wailing, The Wailing, The Wailing. Fucking watch The Wailing.
Never heard of it.
It's scary. Well, first off, let me tell you, all the people who told me it's scary, you're wrong. It
It's
did
not.
not scare me at all.
Way off.
However,
I was way
I
off.
thought this was one of the most interesting films we've ever watched. I would not call this a horror film. So, let's just
suspense thriller.
Yeah, suspense
maybe.
thriller.
I think the hardest
there
part
were
is
horror
with
elements.
Korean movies, Japanese movies, things like that. Sometimes what they deem horrifying is not what we think is horror.
The real
because
bad
they don't.
guy is mad.
They're not allowed to do certain things like with ghosts and stuff like that. To where now that's more horrifying to them than it would be to us.
Kind of gave me more Seven vibes. Like that's and I know there was like a supernatural aspect to it, but that's the kind of the lane it went down with more of the like the thriller type.
I liken this just in tone to like a Devil's Advocate, where it's like it's not a horror movie, it's more of a thriller, but there is supernatural elements to it. You know what I mean? You know he's the devil, there's shit that's going to happen, but none of that movie is ever going to scare you. This is that same thing. There's things in this. There's I said it to you earlier when I texted you. This literally took all kinds of genres and just mashed them into a Korean like cop thriller, like you said, like Seven or something like
or
that.
like
it's a ghost story. It's a zombie movie. It's a demon. I
think at some point
there's
it
an
didn't even know what it
exorcism.
wanted to be.
Well, and
that's
I was
that's what I took away
It
from
was
it.
memories of a murder, but with a demon.
With demons and zombies
Yeah, 3.5.
and supernaturals and shamans.
I'd actually be okay with that score.
But yeah, it is a mishmash of things. It's like he looked up, the director looked up things that other religions do, and then just decided to incorporate it because apparently the exorcism scene is very Tibetan in how they view, possession and things like that. And it's just like it's a mishmash, but it was an interesting mishmash. Like I actually found myself enjoying it, but it was
the best
just
part of the movie, honestly, is when the daughter ends up getting possessed by the spirit. I thought, okay, here's where the movie takes off. Like, here's where we're gonna get something.
finally minute 120.
It was like, I mean, the first hour of this movie is like just kind of, again, it kind of limps along and it doesn't give me much.
Hold on a second. I need to start doing this more, but this is The Wailing from 2016. It's directed by Na Hong Jin.
Yeah, please do this more.
And it's suspicion leads to hysteria when a rural villager links a series of brutal murders to the arrival of a mysterious stranger, and his name is Kunamura Wan or June or John.
Yeah,
and it stars Chun Woo-hee.
This is my favorite part of the
whole
show.
Cast.
Kwak Do-won
Whole cast
and
is to
Wong
it.
Jun-min.
Yep, could have been the same.
Who are the
person. We
extras?
wouldn't have known.
Who are the
I
extras?
need to know the best
Whatever,
boy on
man.
this movie.
We have to start doing this because it's easier for people to find. I listen to so many movie podcasts, and when they'll say the name of the movie once and nothing else, and I'll be like, okay, I want to watch this, but I don't want to rewind it an hour to figure out the name of it.
Here we go. The Wailing. You can find it on Peacock.
Peacock, Tubi. I think it's on Amazon Prime, dude.
I think so.
So, yeah, it's a supernatural thriller thing about this guy who's like with family, and this people get possessed, and once they get possessed, they kill their whole family. And detective is on a race against the clock because his daughter's possessed, and he's trying to save his family as well as
other families.
and figure out the whatever the riddle behind
the
it
thing.
all.
The thing.
The thing, the whatchamacallit.
So the beginning is funny because I watched it and I immediately thought of Scream.
Scream.
Because it's the two cops telling the story, like that little part of the story, and then they're sitting there talking about it. He's like, wait, where'd you hear that? Well, so-and-so told me about this. And I feel like it's like at one point that like, or like it was a Scream, 4? When they were the two were sitting talking, watching Scream or Stab 6 or like it just feels like that's kind of how that started, and it was like, oh no, this is going to be a weird movie. And then
I think this is what this movie kind of does, though, is it really kind of
borrows.
It depends on your perspective and who's watching it, is how you interpret everything, because I got so many different things out of it than like you did or Aaron did.
Shit, I mean, Aaron watched a 2.5-hour movie, still doesn't know what that woman was doing.
I don't.
When I first saw this, and they were talking about these people getting sick and the guy that's fishing and stuff, I'm thinking, oh, okay, we're getting a
cabin fever.
Yeah, it's like it's an infection.
It's going to be like an infection thing because these people are kind of turning into zombies.
I couldn't really tell between like the dream sequences and the reality sequences at the beginning, and I was just like, is this a dream? Is this reality? Because they would constantly wake up, and then something would happen to them. So I'm like, okay, did that really happen? And then he just, or did he just dream it?
Then he'd wake up with terrifying nightmares calling people whores.
What? What's that from?
The movie.
his usual day.
Oh,
The movie where he
Oh,
wakes
yeah.
up and he's like, "You whore,"
Oh.
and the wife turns and like looks at him like, "What are you doing?"
yeah, that was hilarious. And which I laughed at because the mother-in-law is in such close proximity. I can hear you. Like, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
I'm yelling whore.
Yeah, you're fucking in the next
I
room.
think the next hut can hear me.
Why'd they have to bang in the car? Is the mother-in-law?
Probably.
Okay, because I was like, what's going on here?
Why would you want to bang on the hard floor? You ain't got a mattress.
I know. What's up with that? Do the people in Korea get sleep apnea and just die? Because there ain't no way I'm sleeping on that fucking floor at all.
Oh, that's funny.
But here's the biggest question to me, question of all to me in the movie, and this drops it down at a total point. So if I was going to give it a 5, which I wasn't, but there's a part in this film where they actually go to confront this strange man who, ever since he showed up,
Just the interpreter section.
is it? I thought that he was a priest.
Well,
Did I totally fucking not watch
one
the
guy
right
can
movie?
one guy can speak Japanese and Korean, and then the cop can only speak Korean, and they
Right.
confront the guy in Japanese. So they're like,
But there's a dog, and he's keeping a lookout.
well, yeah, the guard dog's starting to attack, and then the guy shows up and calls him off, and
yeah.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't even call him off. He kind of just finds him because they escape into the house and
Gotcha,
then
okay.
holds him there. And then he's like, they find the room where, and it's like people's clothing and artifacts from
Was
their
it the
house.
pictures?
And all the pictures. This guy is standing there, and they're like, "You're the guy." And he's like, "I'm the guy." And they're like,
you can't prove it though.
"All right."
I burned all the pictures.
See, not till later.
No, and it's just so.
Why
fucking
didn't they
crazy.
just kill him then? I get it's a 2.5-hour movie, and they wouldn't have, they would have fucking
done in 90 minutes?
Yeah, but it doesn't make it. That part just did not make any sense to me, and I don't know if maybe I just didn't understand this movie, and that's totally okay.
Did you have the subtitles on?
Yeah, I had the subtitles on. But
I really didn't understand the dialogue.
But what I'm saying is, like, I think I was confused a lot more than anything, and I consider myself kind of, like a cinephile or whatever. I can understand a lot. Like, I get David Lynch, but I just could not, for the life of
This
me,
movie was
figure out
kind of all over the place.
what was going on and why they were doing stuff like that. Who the girl was at the end? Was she good? Was she bad?
I feel like she was a ghost, and like she was warning him not to.
Or she said she gave him to the 3 counts of the rooster, and he only made it to 2.
Well, and that was the biggest part of doing kind of the dive after this, because when the movie ended, I was like, "What? What
I
the
guess
fuck is
there's
going
a whole
on?"
deleted scene after that.
So
There is.
I jump on the internet and I'm thinking,
But
and
that
I'm
has-
like, okay, what is everybody saying about this
doesn't
movie?
answer anything.
no, I know.
And I came across like a director's thing where he was saying how it's
We ran out of
it's-
film.
Yeah, yeah. We ran out of budget. We had to end the movie. Where he was saying it's kind of up to interpretation.
I hate that
it's,
shit.
It's basically you have the triangle of the old guy, the woman, and the shaman, and you got the guy in the middle with his village, and he's trying to figure out who to trust. And it leaves it open to interpretation because you're never going to know who you actually were supposed to trust in this movie. But it doesn't
Yeah.
really answer that question.
Because the shaman dude at the end takes a picture of him.
Right.
He
and
fucking
you think, okay, is this guy
he
part of
drops the box of the photos
Because he never burned them.
supposed to be burned, and then he drives away or whatever, and he's
it?
like,
So you don't know. You don't know who the bad guy is. You
right.
don't
well, you know it's that old guy.
You
It's
don't-
Old Man Demon.
Yeah.
Old man
Well, you
demon.
don't know who is part of this. You don't know who is anybody that you can trust.
or why.
That I get that once hearing that from the director, but I didn't get that when I watched the
Well,
movie.
you shouldn't have to hear that from the director.
Correct.
Like that's my biggest issue with a lot of these movies. I hate when someone goes, "Well, it's open to interpretation." I was like, "No, you didn't know how to end the movie."
So, and that's
Like you can end the movie, and we could still have questions about things that happen in the movie. Just like when we watch Pearl, there's a lot of in between time between 1918 and 1979. There's a lot to to try to explore and talk about and interpret and figure out. But there was an ending. There's conclusion to things, and for this to say, well, it's open to interpretation. No, you made a 2.5-hour movie mashing a billion things together, a lot of loose threads. You have no ending. Don't tell me that shit.
Right.
Like, stop being lazy. Like, you put a lot of work into this. It's a good
This-
movie, but you just.
I think it's somebody thinking their own story in their head.
It's people
and
thinking
it makes,
they're too smart for everybody.
this thing
Exactly.
gets like 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't
Right,
understand
with like
how
80,
that is.
80 some odd reviews. It's not like 6 people saw it and said, yeah, this is great.
Right.
Like, this is a good chunk of people.
But this kind of reminds me of almost like Paprika or something like that, where it's like I did not hate this movie. I thought it was actually very good, and I would like to revisit it. I own it. I bought it many years ago, but I have so many questions, and I don't know if it was almost the same thing with Smile. Like, where did it come from? What's the purpose of it? Like, it doesn't. There's no point. It never gets to a point. It gets almost to a point, and then something else happens, and then almost to another point, and then something else happens, and then you're like, why are things this way? And then that's never answered for you at the end of this film. And I think that's incredibly frustrating in any film like that. And there are a lot of films that do that, and they're considered masterpieces. But I personally, I don't like it.
I don't want to have to
Don't
do
like
homework.
it.
I just don't want to have to do homework after I spent 2.5 hours trying to.
The film is shot
figure
very.
out your movie.
The film's shot well.
Yes.
I think visually. Effect wise, I mean the blood, the gore, the stuff that they do use in this movie, I think is shot very well. Dude, I got this weird thing with like the cops and the main character where I felt like he was just kind of a bumbling idiot.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, and it just kind of took me out of the suspenseful part of the movie where I was almost like, oh, this is almost, I laugh every time this guy does anything because he's so over the top with his actions that it just. It kind of took me away from the suspenseful thriller aspect of it, and it just gave me more of a lightheartedness of the movie that I just kind of, like I said, I kind of skipped through. It was just kind of like, okay, what happens next?
I didn't feel that way at all. I felt like he was just, he didn't know, he was just as confused as us, and he just wanted to help his kid, and he was doing whatever he could, kind of being just lost in the sauce. You know what I mean?
That kid was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, she was off the chain. I mean, as far as like her acting, and I mean, this kid probably has nightmares from filming this movie because I mean, she was.
I always wondered that. Like you see all like the behind the scenes filming, and you've got like kids in some of these horror movies and stuff like that. It's like you gotta be fucked up, man. Like
yeah, I don't know.
Like how do you film The Exorcist and have all that makeup on? And not feel like at 10 years old you're not fucked up for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's just, I don't know how people do that, even fake or not. I know it's like a lot of the horror movies. A lot of people talk about like, oh, it was so lighthearted and fun, and we had a great time on the set. And we're watching like the most horrifying thing in the world. I'm sure the people of Terrifier were fucking eating donuts and having a great old time. And I'm sitting there watching this, going, "This is disgusting." You know what I mean? Like I don't know how people do that. Whatever.
So what'd you give the Wailing?
I give it a 3. I mean, it's good. I love Korean movies. Like Scott said, it visually was great, and I think a lot of Korean movies are like that. Like a lot of they spend time to really craft something, even if that something is confusing and doesn't give you everything you want. It's still visually beautiful. I think there was just too much trying to be shoved into this movie, even at 2.5 hours. Things could have been taken out, little subplots, little threads. You didn't have to throw that many things in. You could have condensed it a little bit. I don't care about the runtime. Just condense the story. Give us something that we can follow. And give us an ending. Like, I don't like having to do homework. I mean, Scott had to do homework, and he still didn't get the answer he wanted. You know what I mean? Like, don't do that to us. And this is definitely not a horror movie. This is not what I would consider horror. I don't even need blood and guts and craziness or whatever, but just give me something. This was, like you said, it was like 7, with a little bit of supernatural shit into it. And not scary. Not at all scary.
What about you, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably a little bit less. Like I said, I kind of, watching this movie, I felt off watching this movie because, one, I guess, like I said, I was anticipating like a horror movie. It really wasn't, and I'm not deducting any points because of that. It just, the whole movie just kind of took me out of sequence when I was watching it and then trying to figure out what the hell is actually going on here. Is this a zombie movie? Is it a supernatural movie?
It starts off very much like you think it is going to be, like a zombie movie or like an infection or something like that. And
and then
it flips to something else.
It flips at least twice in this movie towards the 3/4 mark. I'm probably around a 2.5. If I'm gonna like look up stuff on this movie and I maybe understand it a little better and I go, oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, maybe the movie gets a little better for me, but I mean, just watching it for the first time, I mean, that's kind of where I am.
Would I recommend you watching this film? Absolutely. Would I recommend it as
watch it.
Horror film? Not at all. And if you came to me and was like, "Is this a good movie?" I would say yes and no. And
it's up for your interpretation.
Yeah, it really is.
Interpret my score, bitch.
I don't get the 99 on Rotten Tomatoes, but at the same time, I didn't really understand the movie. Like I've said, not that that's a bad thing. Once again, it might be a multiple viewing thing. I've never had a problem with subtitles, but when you are putting such a convoluted plot, it is hard to keep up. And I don't mind subtitles at all. But
I actually prefer them
Yeah.
to dubbing.
But when you're
over shit,
focused on two things, like the plot of this film and the subtitles, and it's kind of all like, even in the beginning they had dialogue,
It's
and then they
moving
had
quick.
they had people like they had like the unit directors and all that stuff, and you're like, wait, are they talking or
Yeah.
are they saying names? And I thought that was a little off-putting. So I'll just say that if if you are not into subtitled movies, this is not going to be
This
your
is a hard
bag,
one.
because you got to keep up with this plot. You have got to watch the whole thing. I tried 3 times last night. I fell asleep all 3 times. So I said, fuck it.
He did a me.
I'll sleep, and then I'll watch it. And I started from the beginning this morning, watched the whole thing, and I was still confused as hell. But I did like this movie, and I think with another viewing or maybe multiple viewings, I'll maybe I can appreciate it for what it is. But as it stands right now, it is a 3.5, and that's only because it's beautiful, has a really cool demon thing at the end that I think is cool, and I think the last scene with the daughter is just fucking awesome. So check it out. Don't check it out. That's The Wailing from 2016. And moving right along into the second double feature is a movie that I have been told no less than 40 billion times to watch. I've seen people with stupid fucking tattoos of this film. I have seen everything.
Hopefully from that one scene.
I have
not even
seen-
Art the Clown. It's just
I've
a scene.
seen everything there is
Watch
to
when I
see
open my
about this
elbow.
movie. This is one of those I could have a conversation about it without actually seeing it. This is from, I think, also 2016, Terrifier.
What if that guy did this to your car?
What guy? The clown? Do you really think someone slashed my tires?
Well, he knows this is your car. He saw us getting into it earlier.
Hey, handsome!
Cut it out.
My friend wants your number.
Kill you.
What is it, Tara?
Dawn and I are sort of stranded. She has a flat tire and no spare, and I was kind of hoping you could pick us up.
Now is just remain calm and stay on the line with me until the police arrive.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What, did you think he was gonna hack me up into little pieces or something?
I like how we move like that's actually making a difference.
I know, it doesn't make any
It's
sense.
Like, we got to get away from the mic.
I think it's just habit now, because we did it once, being funny. So
So, just to go over the history of Terrifier. Terrifier is from a movie called All Hallows Eve, which I have seen when we were talking about it, but I
Yes.
didn't remember much of it.
it's
Um,
not too rememberable.
Yeah, and this is there's like a 6-film series with this fucking clown. There's actually another Terrifier that
It's
came
what,
out.
9. What's it? What, the 9 circles or what,
Yeah, the
what is
9
it?
circles.
Yeah.
There's another movie called Terrifier. I guess it was like a short or something like that. And then I guess in 2016 they decided to make a full-length feature, and everybody started jizzing their pants about this film, like Scott. So take it away, Scott.
Well, no. So All Hallows Eve, you go back and if anybody has seen this movie, it's a bunch of kids. They're trick or treating, and they bring back a videotape. And on this videotape, there's some fucked up shit that they watch. And just to kind of get off track just a hair,
women on women porno.
I can remember the woman in there going, "We'll watch this tape, but if it gets
Later.
too bad, I'm turning it off." She never turns this fucking tape off. And this is where we're introduced to Art the Clown. He's doing some fucked up shit on these videotapes. Well, and I guess this kind of, by internet, really took off. And this is why we got the Terrifier movie, because people were asking for like a standalone Art the Clown movie. This movie, I absolutely fucking love this movie. This is, to me, what I feel the horror genre is in my eyes. This movie is, it's shot to look like a Grindhouse movie.
Very low budget looking.
It's got that low budget filter on it. And if you hearken back
bad acting
to All Hallows Eve, when he comes in on All Hallows Eve, and if you remember, he like comes in and he's on the couch and she's seeing him in the TV screen.
Mm.
When he comes in, that filter changes in that movie to that Grindhouse effect during the movie. So they use that in Terrifier. This movie, I fucking love it, man. I want you guys to kind of bounce off of it, because this is right in my fucking wheelhouse when it comes to gore.
Are you sure you want me to talk about this? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I did not like this movie. I don't think this movie is good. I don't think it's scary. I think it's nothing but torture porn with a horrible plot. Once again,
it's terrible.
The theme. Can I finish?
It's terrible.
Can I finish? Thank you.
Keep talking.
Once again, kind of a theme tonight with films. This movie didn't do anything. It had no fucking plot. It had no point. And at a certain extent, you're just like, okay, this is nothing but torture porn. This is nothing but gruesome violence to be gruesome violence, and it's incredibly mean-spirited. I didn't have. I felt like shit after watching this movie. Like, not, and I know you brought this up earlier. Oh, it's the same as, Jason or Michael Myers stabbing a girl. There's rules to those movies. There's things that make those movies fun. And
I'm just confused.
And interesting, because there's a plot to those movies. There's like, oh, this is this.
There's kind of a plot to Terrifier. It's not a lot.
What's the plot?
It's super simple. It's Halloween night. They're off on Halloween night. He's able to move around the city because it's Halloween, unscathed and unquestioned, because it's Halloween night, and then proceeds to just terrify these women and basically kill them because he's a murderer.
He's the Terrifier. I get it. I get it.
You get it?
Yeah. No, I just think that is remedial.
Story-wise, it's vanilla. It is so vanilla. It follows all the beats of a horror movie, but it's so fun to watch. This is a movie to watch and sit down and you laugh. You like the gore. I mean, it's
part of a different genre of horror movies, especially like the early '80s schlocky grindhouse.
Yes,
but I like
low budget, fucked up movies. You're not getting the Halloweens, the Friday the 13th with this shit. You're just not. This is like you said, like an very B movie,
B-rated horror.
To the point, like the actresses in this movie, they're doing dialogue in the diner and all this shit, and it is so poorly acted. I was actually kind of getting upset at that point, going, "This is fucked up. This is a dumb movie." I was actually almost upset that I was watching it, and then it really it ramps up. Like it fucking goes 0 to 60, and it doesn't let up literally until the end. And I was like, okay, this is better. Now, everything Aaron said is right. He is mean-spirited. There is nothing driving him to do it. He's just an asshole. And for me, that's still good for that character, because that character, I don't care what happened in the movie, I liked him. He's so fucking stupid. Like horror movie wise, he's, I hate to say this, lovable. Like I loved when he did shit. I loved little things like he's riding the tricycle.
Yeah.
It just in the middle of the fucking thing, shit's going on. Dude. He's killing people, and he still takes time out just to ride a tricycle in circles. And the chick's watching him do it. And he's just like dee 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 dee. And then he's like, he's being a clown. Like, she stabs him or something like that, and instead of chasing after her or wailing in pain, he fucking leans up, gives her the middle finger as she's running away. And I'm like, there's a comedy to him. Like, there's a comedic, it's like Freddy or something like that, where he's
without being
joking.
Overdone.
Right.
That's the thing.
Well, it's way overdone.
He's a mime. Like he's doing everything silent.
Yes.
He's laughing silently. He's joking silently. He's doing all this stuff. He's fucking around with people. Not one word, not one noise coming from him. And it's just, you're almost endeared to his character even though he is probably one of the most fucked up characters I've seen on a movie screen in a very long time.
And the producer gives us something that I've always asked for in a horror movie:
vagina splittings.
Well, that,
Oh,
but
Jesus.
there's the part where in every horror movie, I always think to myself, these killers they have knives, they have axes, they have chainsaws, they have this. Nobody's got a gun anymore. Dude, that scene where he's wailing away on her and she's trying to get away, and then he just gets he gets fed up and he pulls a gun out of his sock and he shoots her.
Right.
And it's so out of left field. It caught me off guard and it made me freaking laugh out loud.
Right. Because he was so nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
It's the scene in Indiana Jones where the guy's got the sword and he's flipping the sword around. He's like, all right, let's do this. It's a sword fight. Indiana Jones just pulls out a pistol and shoots him right in the street. That's that moment where you're like, oh, okay. Good. Good for you.
And then he finishes and he's done with his bullets, right? And he looks at the gun and he's pissed because he doesn't have any more bullets left. Right. And he rolls his eyes and he gives like this big sigh.
Yeah.
And then he walks
He's put
away.
out because he ran out of weapons. And like this guy has got a duffel bag full of axes, knives, apparently a pistol.
Bag, I think.
Was it? I thought it was like a duffel bag.
All the.
I think it was just like a black.
You're right. It was just like a
bag.
black bag. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
But no, I had a problem with that scene. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm so confused with you.
The Halloween, I'm not comparing this to Halloween, but all horror movies. Like if you watch Scream, we've talked about it ad nauseum, but they have rules.
Like, what did these women do other than have a good night out? We don't know anything about these two women.
But the gun stuff, it's like he shouldn't have a gun. He should have his knife.
But that's what makes this movie so fun and
it's
good.
Unpredictable.
It's
like you wouldn't know what he's going to do.
There
with
is no
something.
rules.
It just felt okay. You're like, oh, am I supposed to be rooting for this guy? I don't want to root for this guy because he was getting his ass kicked at that point.
Mean as shit.
And I didn't want to feel sorry for him for running out of bullets.
Because that's where, like, and you say, like, oh man, he's so mean spirited. And I asked Aaron this question earlier, and I said, what's the difference between this guy?
I already brought this up.
Doing what he's doing to these women versus, the Michael Myers stabbing the woman onto the door versus Jason stabbing the woman onto the tree.
Here's the thing, though. There is backstory to those characters that explain the impetus of why they do certain things. Michael Myers, that's thin, but he kills his sister, so then that's his thing. Something fucked up happened. Jason drowned in a lake because camp counselors were too busy fucking each other and not helping him, and so his motivation to kill camp counselors is, well, they fucked me over, I'm gonna fuck them all over, and that's the impetus of that.
Plus,
this guy is just a fucking bastard.
You're made to hate the characters 30 minutes into the films, like Friday 13th and Halloween and stuff like that, except for Laurie Strode. But what I'm saying is, like, you're meant to hate all the ancillary characters that are dying. You don't care about these characters that are dying. You're just like, okay, these women are being just fucking. It's the same reason I never liked the Hostel movie. It's just mean spirit. It doesn't make any sense. It's just like, hey, what's the weirdest, grossest shit we can do?
Yeah, because
let's cut it. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay, because you're right. In a horror movie, you have to. The people getting killed are usually doing something to deserve it in a way. They're fornicating. They're drinking. They're doing something. These women, yes, they were drunk, but they decide we're not going to drunk drive. Let's go to a diner. They make a good choice. They're good people. They realize they can't drive anywhere because their tires fucked up, so they call someone to come pick them up. Every character that gets killed or something fucked up happens to them essentially is a good person. The guy who is fumigating the building let her in to use the restroom even though he shouldn't have. He was being a nice person. He wasn't a scumbag. He wasn't going to rape her. He did something nice. The homeless lady living in the building, she did nothing wrong. She cared for a baby. It was a doll, but it was a baby. But you know what I mean?
And the clown.
There was nothing wrong with her. The two women, essentially, you don't know if anything was bad. There's nothing wrong with her. Her sister was studying in college, and
now
she's a good
fucking demon woman.
She's a fucking. She's
traumatized.
No, you know what she looks like? It reminded me almost immediately. Did you ever see? I think it was Hannibal. Mason Verger. When I guess Hannibal ate his face, and now he's all fucking deformed. That was this. No one in this movie had any right to die, especially the way they did.
Yeah.
They had no reason. And that's why I can agree with you where it's just mean-spirited.
And
these kids weren't fucking around. They weren't torturing anybody. They weren't being complete assholes. They were just living their lives. And this clown came up.
Does that make you root for him more?
Well,
I don't know.
No,
because
that's
you're like, they don't deserve this.
No, that's what I'm going to say is
I don't even think there's
you-
really a final girl in this,
No,
even though there
isn't.
is.
Yeah, not really.
I
but
know.
Yeah. If you like this movie, I get it. I totally understand. I know that there is a huge following of people who likes this grindhouse super gore to the max.
A lot.
I get that. I understand. And more power to you. I'm saying for me, I needed the horror movie rules. I needed the structure. You can be as B movie like fucked up as you want, fucking gory, whatever, Saw, like, whatever.
Yeah, but Saw still had a plot to follow.
Right.
There were reasons why these people
But
were
I'm
what
just
they
trying
were.
to think of torture porn in
You want
general.
to remember, this is essentially the third movie, though, in kind of that timeline.
But not a lot of people know that.
No. but
Especially
that's
when the
thing.
end of
It's-
this movie happens. I was sitting because I had never seen the other stuff.
So if you go back and you watch the other two, you're going
It
to
might
get a
make more
little bit.
sense.
You're going to get a little bit more of an introduction to those characters, and it's going to make sense of why he's there.
Right. But for me, not knowing that, I watched this movie. I'm sitting there going, okay, you're kind of a dick. You're just doing your shit. And then the end happens, and I'm like, why the fuck did that just happen? That's weird. And then it's like, okay, I had to look stuff up. And then when I look it up, they're like, oh, yeah, it's supposed to be supernatural at the end. And that, now something's inhabiting his body. And I'm sitting there going, how the fuck would I know that?
Right.
How the fuck would anybody that came across this movie know that? If they got past the midpoint of this movie and kept going, how would they know that? And
See, yeah, I kind of suspended all that belief just because it's like, for me,
at that point I was already in. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I think it's.
I know there's a
it's just
sequel
one of
coming.
those-
That's why.
Yeah, and I hear the sequel's even fucking worse.
I heard.
And we're going to see it next weekend, so fuck. But and that's another thing. I did like the clown. I thought the clown was
I thought
funny.
he was
I thought the
fan-fucking-tastic.
stuff he did was hilarious. But all of the murder and stuff was just, it was too. And don't get me wrong, there's other movies I think that are like this. Fucking, like I said, Hostel, that a Serbian film. I mean, let's not even get into that. But what was it?
There's one that I found out.
Turistas. You ever seen Turistas, dude? That shit. It's just so mean. And I know that there's a genre for that. It's
called torture porn.
Yeah, and there's people that like it, and I'm totally cool with that, and I get why you liked it.
I just when you say torture porn, man, I'm like,
Human Centipede.
This is stuff to me that just seems so normal in a horror movie.
Do you remember when we went and saw 3 from Hell, and you
Yeah.
were like, I love this, and I wasn't that big. I thought it was all right, and but those types of movies, they're just we have to see all the fucked up stuff we can put into one film and what we can get away with and still get it to the masses. And it's just not for me when it comes to horror. That's not my type of horror, and that's okay. And if it's not your type of horror, that's cool. But if it is your type of horror, also cool. And we can all high five at the gate.
See, I'm just confused, man. And it's like, because I put this up against, like, the old movie, Nightmare on Elm Streets, things like that. And it's kind of along that same line, because you have
Art the Clown with
you have a
Kill Freddy
character,
Krueger,
you have a
make him
character-driven bad guy. And I
How's he
don't really,
character-driven?
I don't see very much, because it's an iconic character that is.
It's only iconic because people like this movie.
Yeah, but you are going to recognize, even if you put Art the Clown up on a poster. If you
I
haven't
went
seen
out-
that, you're like, oh, that's that guy from that movie. A lot of people, even if people haven't seen it,
If
they're
I
like,
walked
they've
out
seen
and
it
showed
somewhere.
Kim Art the Clown, she would not know who he is.
Well, she doesn't like clowns anyways.
But I'm just saying.
That's not gonna help.
But he's a character, an iconic character that people can recognize as that serial killer character. He's going to be probably, as these movies start coming out, he'll be up there with the Saw clown or the Michael Myers, the Jason.
Yeah, I already see people getting tattoos of him and stuff. I get it. I get it, and that's totally perfectly fine to feel that way. I just don't feel that way.
Yeah, this is a movie where I liked it. I can't say enjoyed, but mouth is dry.
Dude.
I did enjoy this movie. I can't, in good conscience, recommend anyone watch it.
Oh, see, I could.
That's the thing. Like, who do you know fucked up enough that would enjoy that?
I know
Because
a lot of
I
fucked up
don't.
people.
I don't know anybody save this room that I could say you should watch Terrifier.
See, maybe that's
it's fucked up.
my
brother?
desensitization.
I told him to watch it. Yeah, but it's
I think your brother will like it a
fucked
lot.
up.
But that's where me being desensitized to that stuff, because I do watch a lot of these horror movies.
They do
and some
new
of the older
things
stuff.
in this movie that I've never seen before.
But see, I kind of like, because I understand that things are fucking not real, And
I understand that,
and
too.
Oh,
just
wait,
to,
was
just
that,
to,
that not documentary?
I mean,
Chick
to
didn't really get
pull the freaking curtains back. I mean, because we just touched on it, we never really talked about it. One of the girls he's got hanging upside down, and she's naked.
rough.
He pulls out a hacksaw and he starts from her freaking vagina
down to her
down
head.
to her neck.
And she's suspended upside down, legs splayed in these like
Yes.
stirrups, and she is just hanging upside down. Her friend is tied to a chair, watching him do this.
And
to her.
I kind of laughed when he started doing
That
this.
makes you a
'Cause he's-
psychopath.
he's-
No,
I mean-
because I was like, I understand that this is a movie. So when he started going into it, I'm like, I laughed because I'm like, oh, these are really good effects. Like, this is super B-rated. This is gore that people like. You know, I mean, I understand that it's an effect. I understand that it's not real.
I understand
You know
that
what I
too,
mean?
because guess what? It's a movie. What I don't like is someone thought of that
Right.
and should be on a fucking FBI watch list. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
There's worse. There's so much
there is
worse
a
out there,
suspension.
though.
I'm not saying there isn't.
Yeah.
I'm just because there's a movie. Let me see. There's a movie that I know that's really fucked up, and
Well,
it's fucked up to just be fucked up. And this is movies along the same lines where it's like I don't want people to watch it.
This is what I'm saying, though. When
But
you
it's
watch
fucked up.
those old Severin 80s grindhouse stuff,
All the nun movies
you
and
can
shit,
see you can see the extra like gooey patch of fucking Play-Doh that they're using
Skin,
for
they're about to
neck
about throw
and,
shit out.
and stuff like that, and that's what makes them campy and awesome to watch. The blood, it's pig's blood, blah blah blah, like you all that stuff, and you can see it's just like with this, it's like, hey, this looks real. It looks fucking fucked up, and
Until he got to her head, then it looked kind of weird.
yeah,
Right.
But I really got to reiterate this: if you like this movie, awesome. I'm happy for you. This is coming from my own personal perspective, and if you don't agree with me, I totally get it, man. We can still be friends, but I just
Can we?
yeah.
I watched this before Aaron, and I told him, "Look, if you watch this movie and your kid's in the room, I'm calling CPS.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucked
This is not a movie
up
you watch with kids, but as an adult, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's.
I can't say I'm gonna go back to that movie and watch it again. I think it's a 1 for me. I'm gonna watch the sequel.
I
There's
think
a-
if this is on, if they're playing like some Halloween horror fest on some cable
right.
channel and it's
hey,
on,
ABC's putting Terrifier on.
I'm watching this. I'm sitting down and watching it again. I'm like, because this dude, the clown,
love the
makes
clown.
me
Like,
fucking laugh. I mean, he is so
comical
fun, man.
because he's so quiet. Like, what did he do in the bathroom? Did he shit the bathroom?
yes,
up?
he shit and wrote his name on the wall in shit
I just
before he proceeded to
why he
decapitate the
got
owner,
kill the guys
and light him on fire.
I know. It's just
Like a
I guess the pumpkin or the
Jack-o'-lantern.
jack-o'-lantern part was added in digitally because they wanted to make it more of a Halloween flick.
Yeah.
Because other than saying it was Halloween and they did a like Halloween party, everything else was kind of just, it could have been any time. I think what he did to the homeless woman is so fucked up. You don't see it happen, but when it happens, you're almost thinking, that can't be her. She's not her. That's not her. Something bad's or she's gonna turn over and her face is missing, or something. Like he did something to her.
Very
and it
Silence of the
turns
Lambs.
out it was Art the Clown had fucking
Scalped her.
skinned this woman from like stomach up, so breast, everything all the way up to like I think her neck at this point, or like just shoulder blades, and he put it over himself and put her own hair, scalped her, put her hair on his head, and proceeded to walk around for about 15 minutes of this movie
Just butt ass
looking
naked.
like fucking Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs, chasing this other woman. And I'm just like, I'm laughing, and
But
I'm also
thinking
kind
it's
of
fucked
fucked up at the
Yes.
same time. And I'm just like, who do I recommend this movie to? There is almost nobody that I can say, please go watch Terrifier. No, don't watch this movie.
The people who
But it's good.
The people who you would recommend it to
Are sitting at this
have
table.
already seen Terrifier.
I was going to say,
because
yeah.
the people who are out there who are gore hounds,
Those
and
motherfuckers probably just told me about it.
They've seen it. They've seen this already, and they're probably thinking to themselves, "I can't believe these motherfuckers haven't seen Terrifier." You know,
Right.
you. I'm not going to recommend this to my mom. I'm not going to
Please
recommend my
recommend it to
wife
your
to
mom.
watch this. Because my wife would be like, "What on earth are
Why-
you
yeah,
watching?
why are we watching
Like,
this?"
what is wrong with you in the head?" And I'm just like, "Dude, it's a fun movie to watch." And they'd be like, "You need to be committed."
Yeah. Like, Damien Leone. What the fuck is wrong with
And
you?
if I go see
Yeah.
the second one, my opinion might change. If I see the second one, it's bigger budget, more of a story arc or
Second
whatever.
one's 2.5 hours.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Holy shit!
It's 2.5 hours long.
Goose rubber. No, we'll be fine.
Because apparently
we'll get
there's
some food, man.
Apparently
I got
there's
nothing
a
going on.
There's a cohesive story. I guess
And I'm into
there's
the-
more gore, and I guess you get more Art the Clown.
I heard they really ramped up.
Yes.
like
I'm
the
okay
things that
with
we saw in this first one, up to 11.
This is just
Like,
this movie apparently is
11.
just a precursor to what you're going to get with Terrifier 2.
We'll
I
see.
mean, I like this movie. I can't tell anybody to watch it.
No,
I just can't.
It's a hard recommend
Sorry.
for anybody that's.
I can't
not
say
a horror
I can't
movie.
say, hey, you're in the Halloween spirit. You want a feel good movie? Don't put on Terrifier. I mean, you want to be depressed and see some of the most heinous shit in your fucking movie watching experience. Watch Terrifier. You'll like the clown. You'll hate everything else, and it's still fun to watch.
But tell me it's not one of those where if you were to sit down by yourself and you're going to pick some movies to watch for October,
Nah, this one
late at night, is this not one that could end up on that playlist?
Not for me.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Just because I think,
I'm as fucked up as you are.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
I
mean,
think the clown itself is worthy of. If anybody is into horror and into that type of stuff, the clown itself, if you haven't seen this, is worth.
well, we had
the
both
watch.
we had both watched this before, Aaron, and you had watched it before I got to
I
watch
watched
it.
this at work.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that, by the way.
I have a desk that does not. No one can
You're like, it
see.
doesn't face a window, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, everyone walks by, and he's just like,
Pretty much. Every time I paused it, I had to lock my phone.
yeah, you got to get that out of there. But like after watching it, okay, so you texted us, and you're like, I cannot wait to talk about this movie. And this could go two ways with Scott. It could be this movie was such shit,
Yeah,
he
so
can't
bad.
wait to just rail on it, or this was a fucking masterpiece. After I watched it, I'm going, this is a Scott movie. He absolutely adored this, and I can't wait to talk about it with him because I'm the same way. I like the gory, dumb, stupid 80s flicks. It's what I grew up on. It's all the shit that I always
I
watched.
can't wait till I pick Evil Dead Trap.
I've heard about that.
I have 1 and 2.
I haven't watched it yet.
I hear it's.
I almost bought them, actually. I think they went on sale like a couple months ago. or
Yeah.
something.
Well, and I'm not giving anything away, but when my movie picks come up, I think we're getting another one.
You know, because like I'm sitting there just every time I watch like the Evil Dead movies, even some of them that are supposed to be comical, I still laugh at like, so much blood and like I just dig that kind of shit. So for me, I think
Yeah.
Terrifier is a 3. I don't know when I'll ever watch it again. I'm sure I will. Don't watch this movie. Please stay away from it. It's fucked up. It's really fucked
I'm
up.
gonna
It's
let-
not for
It's a
the
snuff
normies.
film.
It's not for the
fucking
normies.
no.
I'm gonna let Scott go last because it's up his alley. But I'm doing 2-5 because straight down the middle. Because once again, just because I don't like it doesn't mean you ain't gonna like it. Because there's definitely enough here for horror fans to jism themselves all over the place and enjoy and think like Scott. It's just not for me, so I can't go higher than a 2-5. I can't recommend it to anybody. I will never watch the first one again. If the second one's good, I might, like, if my kids eventually want to watch it when they're like 17.
Buy the
That's-
4K box
That's
set.
the one we will watch. So 2.5 for me. What about you, Scott?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, it's a 10. No, it's
rate it how you want to rate it, man.
Movie wise, it's a 3.5. It's a solid 3.5. Again, there's not much story.
It's very
There's
light on the story.
There's plenty of gore, which is fun. The clown is fun. Art is funny as hell. There's a lot of plot holes in this movie, but you know what? Sitting down and watching this movie, it goes by so quick. You don't even realize that it's not a slogfest to watch this movie.
It
It's
goes
a
quick.
fun.
It moves fast.
It's a fun watch for anybody who's into horror.
There's no long drawn out like
No.
where is he? Where is it? No, it's just it moves fast.
Yeah, it just
and
moves right along.
Dude gets beat up with a hammer.
Yeah,
and
I
it's just
know
some
that
gory
just
shit.
from doing a lot of like the digging on it is this movie just got put out to get him out there as a character. So it was more like, hey, okay, you guys kind of wanted this as a character. We're going to give it to you, and then we're going to see how the audience kind of reacts to it.
Like I almost feel like Terrifier 2 might be the real movie, whereas
It
you know,
is.
All Hallows Eve was like
There was already a
this is
Terrifier in 2011.
Well, I'm just saying, like this is like All Hallows Eve was like, oh, this is an introduction to this character. Everyone really liked him. Okay, let's just do something to get him out there. Let's not really
Right.
care about
That's
it.
exactly what it was.
Oh, then now that he's popular, this is our springboard to really make him.
Now we've got the budget.
Because now, yeah, we can
and
put
we got the
millions
audience
behind it.
And I guess it was a lot of it was, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of it was like crowdfunded to get this movie back.
Oh,
to get
sure.
the
Yeah, there's a
part
guy
2.
in the Kevin Smith group I'm in who's in it, and he's wearing a movie shirt, and he actually like got permission from Kevin to do it.
Interesting.
And he's called the Selfie Guy, and I guess he's in the whole film. So,
wow. All right.
All right, so that is the first weekend for our double feature-a-thon. Next, we have Jordan, who changed his picks last minute because he's an asshole. So, Jordan, what did you pick for your 2 double feature movies?
I had a plan weeks ago, and thinking about it today on my hour-and-a-half drive down south, I thought it would be more fun for us to do something that we haven't done before and watch 2 movies with the same actor in it. So I'm going to go with the first movie. I'm going to go with is a Dario Argento movie starring Jennifer Connelly, because we tend to just literally have every Jennifer Connelly movie. So let's just keep doing it. But it also has...
Before this podcast, I even heard of Jennifer Connelly.
Could you imagine? But it stars Donald Pleasance. And I don't know if anyone's heard, I love Halloween.
And you're an asshole because last year you picked fucking Priest at the Door or whatever the fucking... And he's in that, too.
Oh, yeah, Prince of Darkness?
Yeah.
Prince of great movie. Fuck you.
I know.
Priest at the door.
Priest at the door. Hey, who's at the door? It's a priest. Roll credits.
Priest.
No,
Prince
so
of Darkness, he's in that, too.
I'm going to go with a Donald Pleasance double feature to kind of compare the 2 movies. They're both kind of around the same time that they were made. So the first movie is Phenomena.
The wind, yes. The phone. Very particular wind. Typical of this part of the country. It comes from the Alps. The blasts of warm air cause snow avalanches. While it blows, there are those who say it causes madness. Have you any idea why they behave like that? Never done this before.
It's probably because of me. I guess they sense the mood I'm in.
See, he's not afraid of you. He won't do that for me. Ask him to lead you where the dead bodies are hidden, and he'll lead you. That flag is your magic wand. It's perfectly normal for insects to be slightly telepathic.
Yeah, it's normal for insects. But am I normal? I love you. I love you all.
Starring Jennifer Connelly.
John Travolta.
Yeah. Hilarious joke. Anyways, keep going.
Hold on. I'm giving him space to insert the laugh track. And then the second movie, I am going to pick another Donald Pleasance, but this one also stars Jack Palance. It's got a big cast. This one I have heard so much about. I actually have a copy of it to watch. My friend Aaron gave me a copy. That's you.
Still haven't gotten my birthday present.
It's on its way. I'm working on it.
It's fine.
Just want to give you cash.
Just fucking.
Yeah,
sure.
No.
Can
you wait?
He's gonna write.
You're gonna have to wait a week or two.
Write your name and poo on the wall before he leaves.
Art.
Aaron the Clown.
But our second movie will be Alone in the Dark.
Anything can happen when you're alone in the dark.
Are you afraid of the dark? Sometimes.
Sort of fun.
When I was a little kid, I was scared to death to be alone in the dark.
me to know that there was something that I couldn't see that wanted to get me.
Almost. What's the matter now?
Did you hear that? In the closet.
Oh my God.
Or outside the window. The worst thing of all is the thing under the bed. Billy! It isn't real.
This is a very serious situation.
I know that we're all a little on edge here tonight, but let's take it easy, okay? I mean, this is an old house. There are all kinds of sounds.
Starring Jack Palance, Donald Pleasance, Martin Landau, Dwight Schultz, Erland Van Lith. Alone in the Dark from New Line Cinema.
Scott, when you're pulling the trailer for this, it's not the fucking one from like 2002.
Yes, please don't. What was that? Christian Slater?
Yeah.
Well, I
don't pick that one.
assume if
It's
we're
not based off
talking
the
about the actor, I would imagine it's going to be a little bit older than that.
Yeah, that's fine. Which...
You
will
know,
this
you pull one bad Star Trek clip in your career,
no,
and you just never live it down.
I was like, you put bed music in it. It was like, that's the next generation, you fucking normie.
I think this will be Scott's introduction to Argento.
You have, I'm trying to think of
There's
anything
no
else
way
he
he's
made
ever seen Tenebrae, which I have seen, and he's never...
Crystal Plumage, I mean...
the bird with crystal plumage. There's no way you've seen... Red cat or the red eyes. What the fuck?
Say plumage again.
Say onion, bitch.
Onion, bitch. say plumage.
The
Plumage?
bird with the crystal plumage.
Okay, just checking. Plumage.
These are all Argento films right here, dude. The Cat of Nine Tails.
Cat of Nine Tails. Is
Phenomena,
fantastic.
which is
That I
actually
have
called
seen.
Creepers if you can't find it under Phenomena, which you should be able to.
Jennifer Connelly has a psychic link with bugs. And can
Trauma.
control bugs. It's fucking
Trauma,
great.
which I'll eventually pick for the show because I've been wanting to watch it forever. Yeah.
So those are my choices. I kind of went a little bit different direction, but I think it'd be fun to kind of compare movies with the same actor in it.
Apparently, there's a movie with him in it where he eats spaghetti from a Wendy's. We need to find that movie.
They used to have spaghetti at Wendy's.
Well, that's weird.
They used to have salad bars. Like, you could go in and get Italian food and a whole salad bar and everything, and they got rid of it because it was only $2.99 and it cost way too much money.
He's going to try to find the one Wendy's that still serves fucking spaghetti, and then we're going on a road trip.
Damn right.
Get the spaghetti basket, and they'll have it. But, yeah, so those are my movies.
Did you just make a fucking Dane Cook joke?
I did.
Please get out of my room. I fucking hate Dane Cook.
End of the show.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was like, just going to let that one slide by.
That show will be in Dos Weekos, 2 weeks.
Well, technically, when they hear this, it'll be in a week.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm tired.
When they hear this show, it won't. See, again, I have to do the timeline because this is Halloween and we're going off on the thing. The show after this show that we're currently talking to you on will be a one-off show with me and Aaron. Scott's going to be out of town once again up north. I don't know, bringing a couch. Who fucking knows what Scott does up north anymore?
It's family weekend.
Every weekend has
Every
been.
weekend is family weekend.
But we're probably going to do a little one-off. We haven't quite nailed down the details, but you will be hearing something a little bit different.
We're going to go eat food. We're going to watch Terrifier 2.
Dude, we should go down to Tucson. Oh, man, we can't. It's a Friday. I was going to say we should have gone down to Tucson and do that horror-themed, pizza place or burger place that's down there. It's like,
why can't we go?
Because it's a Friday and...
I'm off Thursday, Friday, bro.
I have to work Friday.
Ah, boo.
I don't get off until like 5. I know, right?
Take a road. I mean, this thing has, look, those mics right there.
Another road show. But it'll be a little bit different. Won't be the same kind of format. We're just kind of free form, have some fun with it. And then the week after that, we will do my movies. So you've got some time to really
And then Scott's movie,
these.
and then another snack show, which this time will feature ice cream. All right.
That's right.
You can wait the month.
Yeah, as we left the snack show yesterday, we were like,
we had
there's so many things
we
we didn't pull out.
No, 3 ice creams that are for the show that are now going to
Did you buy ice cream too?
Yeah, pumpkin delight and fucking oatmeal cream
that's
sandwich,
right.
Bluebell. So it's all good. It's okay. We got a couple weeks.
I'm really looking forward to that ice cream too. Oh wait, I'm not in the mood for ice cream.
Thank you. Exactly. All right.
Do it for the show.
Thank you guys so much for listening to I'll Watch It Later podcast, the podcast where we lie about. Yeah, you know that's the beginning.
The thing.
It's very late. I'm tired. I appreciate you guys doing this late at night. I appreciate everyone that listens. If you'd like to reach out to us and talk to us, me to send you a poster, watchitlaterpodcast@gmail.com. That's watchitlaterpodcast@gmail.com. I'm Aaron.
I'm Jordan.
And Scott, the clown.
Big gulps, huh? Well,
see you later.
You
Damn, I was going to do it at the same time, and you got it.
You're trying to harmonize.
Well, it's because you said Scott the clown, and then you interrupted. And I couldn't jump in. I was going to try to see if I could. Do it at the same time.